Welcome to the exercise on closures. I have stolen some exercises from the internet actually, but you can do them and then I'll show them how I would solve them. So let's look at them. So you have to write 6 different functions. Could you rename this to 6? So it makes sense again. And they range from easy to harder, but I think you should be able to solve them all. If it takes you too much time, then you can just look at my solution instead of trying to solve it yourself. So pause the video now and then watch me solve it. So welcome back. Let's get to this. So write a function that returns 7. So that's easy. Just create a function and we'll call it q1 and then we'll return 7 and then let's console log the results of that function. Void actually. Well, see? Well, we get 7. Well, write a function that returns number 7. Well, I think we succeeded. Then let's look at this one. Write a function that returns a function that returns 7. So we write a function called q2. And now we can return another function. And that function will actually look exactly the same as this one. It will return 7. So now we can just make this a little bit more clear. Putting this in a variable. This is result 1. And then we'll do the same. Here, so we do result 2 equals q2. So q2 returns a function. Then we can immediately call that function like this. Now we should have this result 7. So why does this work? This function q2, when called up here, it returns this function, and that function, when called, let's go to these parentheses, returns 7. Why is it so weird? Keep the yeah, like this. So this works again. We call this function, it returns a function, and then we call that function, and it returns 7. Write the function that returns a function that returns the number that was passed to the first function. I think this is going to be the first time that we have to use closures, because we're going to have to save what was passed into the outer function. So I'm just going to copy this quickly. So q3, and then this one gets input, and then we can store that. Or actually, we don't need to store that. That's an important thing of closures. We can just say return here input. Because this input is accessible here. Also, parameters of the function belong to the scope of that function. So we now call that one again. In there. And now it doesn't log anything because I didn't put anything in it. But if I put 7 here, it will return 7. If I put 4 in here, it returns 4. Because now I put 5 in here, now this input is 5. And it remembers, when creating this function, it remembers that input in the closure of this function. So it will be always 5. Equal to 5. So you could also assign this to a variable. Returns 3 here. So, and then you can call returns 3. And it always returns 3. Now if I change this to 4, this name is a lie now. Let's change the name as well. Now it always returns 4. So that's number 3. Exercise number 4. write a function that returns one more than the number that was passed into the first function. So we do almost the same again. I'll just make it a little bit more simple. This and this. Then I'll copy this again. Change all 3s to 4s. /4. Okay. So now it has to return one more. Okay, what is input to it? So if we input 7, 60%. Now we should expect it to give 8. So we can say input +1, and it will always be 8, even if I call it multiple times. Here will always stay 8. Or we could also say input equals input +1. And then we move from here. This actually puts the input +1 inside the closure. It does the changing in the closure instead of in the function that was returned. So let's go. So write the function that returns a function that returns one more than the number that was passed in. It increases by one each time it is called. The first time 8, then should be 9. Okay. Let's see if we can make that happen. So then let's copy this. Let's just copy this. Change this 5. Okay, so it should increase by 1 each time it is called. Now we can say input +1 inside this function. Because if we put it in here, so you have to assign the result of this Q5 actually to a variable. So we do it like this. Now we can say okay, I think now it works. So I'm sorry if that was a bit confusing. So this function Q5 returns another function, which we assign here to this variable, so we can call it again. Each time this function gets executed, it adds 1 to this input, which is stored inside this closure still. So each time we call it, this one gets added to this function, or this variable that is in the closure. Actually, the shortest way of writing it would be this. Here it updates input and then it returns input. Okay, then the 6th one. Now it does not take an input, but it still has to add 1 each time. So let's say, okay, I think I know how to do this. Here we say, starting with 1. Now here we say Q6, and here we have to do, we don't get an input anymore. Here we say counter equals 1. Or we can even say counter equals 0. And we can do counter here. And now, if we call this Q6, function equals Q6. Actually, it says far here, but I can use far. Always use constant. It happens when I steal exercises from the internet. Okay? So now we have this function. It was created here. So we call Q6, and it returns this function. And it uses this counter from its closure. And now each time we call this function, maybe console both, because I actually don't see what's happening. No, still not working. Why not? Well, its function is already created, so we can say function 6. Now we get 1, 2, 3, 4. So each time this function gets called, this counter, 1 gets added to its counter. Remember that this is actually the same as counter equals counter plus 1, which is the same as counter plus equals 1, which is the same as counter plus plus in this case. If we want to update it before it gets returned, so then we plus counter. And let's say you want to add 2 on each iteration, then you would probably use this syntax, so you say plus equals 2, 3, and you can multiply. Well, if you start with 0, that doesn't work, so let's start with 1 instead. So now you can multiply. It's done. That's it for this exercise. If you have any questions, then ask me or your teacher.